Hi there, Marian, cancer movement therapist, and I'm coming to you today in a little different format for my blog post. I thought I would give a little try to video and see how that's going. So today I want to talk to you about a great study. I first learned about this with a colleague from LinkedIn, and she posted about Carrie Shadler. She's PhD at MD Anderson, and she has been running some preclinical trials that have some really exciting news for cancer patients, and I want to share that with you. So Carrie is a PhD who's studying blood vessels and tumors. And you think, okay, not exciting work, absolutely, and how does this relate to me as a cancer patient? Well, the interesting thing about her work is what she's looking at is how the tumors are working, how they get their supply of nutrients, but also how we get the medicine into the tumors. So what we want to see is how chemotherapy, the medicine that we're looking at to help cancer patients in their fight, how that is going to get into the tumors to do what we want them to do, which is to shrink the tumors and get rid of the tumors. But what she's found, and what we know from research, is that a lot of the blood vessels surrounding the tumors or within the tumors are, they're new, that about 50% of them aren't really working all that well, and it makes it really difficult for chemo to get into that tumor and do its job. So she's been looking at preclinical trials, so not trials yet with patients, to see if she can find a way to increase what I'm calling the vascularity, the blood vessels, and how we can get that medicine into the tumors to do its job. And what has been found is a fantastic way to get chemo to work better, to infiltrate those tumors and do what it's supposed to do, is through exercise. So of course I'm excited about that. And I'm excited, of course, because this is giving better hope and better treatment options for patients. So Carrie has looked at other people who have done studies as well, and MD Anderson is opened up right now a study with pancreatic cancer patients and looking at how exercise, and this is moderate levels of exercise, is going to improve the effects of chemo during their treatment. So the hope is, and based on the positive results from the preclinical trials, is that this is going to work much better with exercise instead of just chemo on its own. So what we don't know is the dose response. We don't know the intensity of the exercise, the frequency of the exercise, and these would be things that need to be tested. But what they've looked at is just moderate levels of exercise, because we know patients going through chemo have side effects that can make it really difficult for them to exercise. So you certainly don't want to have a study that's looking at exercise to, let's say, at high levels, because it's going to be very difficult for the majority of chemo patients to work at that level and to get that benefit. So they've looked at moderate levels only of exercise with really good results so far. So that's great news. You can go to the MD Anderson site and take a look at that. The study, they're gathering patients now for the study right now. So fantastic news. There are others working on this as well. I thought I would highlight the work that at MD Anderson. And also I want to just bring into play that we're looking at exercise as a fantastic way to not only help after diagnosis and before treatment, so prehab, exercise to get your body ready for the fight it's going to go through. Whether it's chemo, radiation, surgery, all three, your exercise beforehand is going to put you in a better position to help with the process that your body's going to go through. This is another way, this study here, to show that exercise can help while you're going through treatment. The other thing we know for sure with many studies is that exercise also helps chemo symptoms decrease, including fatigue. Patients who exercise during chemo have less fatigue and a number of other symptoms, making it easier to go through chemo. Not fantastic, but easier. And again, everyone's journey is different. What we also want to look at as well is exercise after you're done with treatment. Fantastic studies showing that exercise post-treatment decreases the risk of recurrence for a number of different types of cancer. So these are very important findings with something that you can learn to do, and you can do it on your own. Maybe get some training first, make sure you're doing things properly, but it's something easy. It's not an ongoing payment for medications, and it's going to give you many other health benefits as well. So again, fantastic news. Increase the ability of chemo to work on the tumors. Also, one other thing I want to mention too is if the exercise is found, and as the preclinical trials are showing, to help chemo work better on the tumors, there may be a dose response as well, where we're looking at decreasing the amount of chemo required to get the job done, which can decrease the terrible symptoms that cancer patients are going through during treatment. Marian Barnick, Cancer Movement Therapist, so happy to be able to share this with you. Any questions, of course, send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram, send me an email, info@marianbarnick.com. I would love to hear from you. Take care.